You are now listening to the Be Your Own #Love Goals podcast with Moe Ari
and Tiffany.
We just want you to remember that every person, regardless of identity, wants these three things: belonging, authenticity, and love.
And after a decade of partnership, we've learned to co-create these things and so much more.
So from wherever you're listening, we're going to go on a journey of becoming our own #Love Goals. Now let's get into this episode. Can't even focus on the podcast.
Word.
And just like a Roni, you were too shy. But you weren't the only, 'cause so was I. And I dreamed of it ever since. Now I built up my confidence. Next time you come my way, I know just what to say. Can we talk for a minute? Now, you know, this is usually where you're like,
yeah, but
taking over.
Yes, but I didn't want to take over. I was being serenaded.
Oh.
But yes, we can talk.
Okay.
Let's talk.
You are now listening to the Be Your Own Love Goals podcast with Moe Ari
and Tiffany.
Thank you so much for joining us.
Yes.
I am just really glad that we're here. I'm going to let Tiffany take this episode away. Tell them what we're going to be talking about today, Tiff.
So we have a lot of friends. We have a lot of family in our life that have basically asked us the simple question of, how do you know when you're ready to take things to the next level?
Yeah.
Whether that's commit in relationship,
right.
Get married,
right.
Give up your independence, like any of these things that signify seriousness in relationship. And that could be moving across country, I don't know, deciding to have a kid, like whatever the thing is. And so we're just going to dive into a little bit of our process, when we've encountered these decisions. I see Moe's, his wheels are already turning right now.
Because I think, let me just
take it away.
It's hard because I've been spoiled. I have Tiffany. I'm not just saying that to flatter Tiffany.
I'm flattered.
Yeah, like I have to answer this question outside of the context of you.
Mm-hmm.
Because when I think about this outside of the context of Tiffany, it makes that decision way harder. I know I would have been struggling with the idea of commitment to anybody else. I'm trying not to be romantic and just keep saying, like, if I think about it with anybody else, it makes it difficult. But it does.
Mm-hmm.
And so I imagine for so many people other than us, that when you're contending with that question, it's challenging. And it's not just because you haven't found the right person. I don't think that that's always the case. It was very obvious to me with Tiffany for a number of other reasons, right? Like, she has been riding with me through whole gender transition. So it's an easy yes for me, right? But most relationships haven't gone through all that stuff on the front end.
Yeah.
When you do life, the course of for better or worse, richer or poorer, bigger, whatever, in the beginning of your relationship, that certainly makes you have to say that yes. But when you don't go through that, most relationships are in the honeymoon in the beginning, right? So you don't have all that life you've lived. You're living on a prayer. You're living on a possibility. You don't know that they really can do richer or poorer, better or worse for real. See, I already got that with Tiffany in the beginning. So I was like, yes, indeed. She's going through this with me. But like, everybody else doesn't have that. So it makes that commitment idea very hard. I cannot conceive of it outside of Tiffany. So I'm going to put myself in that boat to even answer Tiffany's question and the questions that our friends have been asking, because unless we do that, I don't think we'd be given a fair answer. So Tiffany, I'm going to challenge you to think about you being with your little type over there, the type you like. And
Don't start.
Don't start. It was a point in which Tiffany would be like, my man, when she was talking about Rick Ross. I'm not kidding.
Mo,
that's her type.
You always say that, and that is not true.
My man. That's exact. She would be like, my man is on stage, and she'd be at a Rick Ross concert.
Have I gone to a Rick Ross?
I think the one you and Mel went to in Vegas. I was getting texts like, my man is coming on stage. This is her type. So I want you to put yourself in your shoes, like you're dating, this type, and thinking about settling down. How would you even get to the idea that you're going to settle down with that person?
So for one, I think that I used to think that this idea was cliche, but I really think that whoever said it was onto something. I personally feel like going through every season with a person is important. Mom said that. Your mom. Summer, spring, winter, fall. And not for the basics of like how the weather is, but like for me as a person, there are different iterations of Tiffany throughout the year.
I think Medea said it too, actually, now that I'm thinking about it. My mom and Medea.
Well, on that note, but there's some truth to that because I am living the prime of my life.
Yes.
During June 22nd, I believe.
Yeah.
Through the end of summer.
Yeah.
Don't talk to me. If you ain't trying to turn up, if you ain't trying to twerk, if you ain't trying to celebrate my birthday, I don't want it. Okay? Prime of my life. We slow down. We start a little bit, getting a little cooler during the fall. Wintertime, I'm like, I'm not really feeling this. This cold, this is not me. Spring, I start to come alive again. But I feel like going through an entire year with the person allows you to really break down that representative.
Yeah.
And really see when stuff happens, to really see the problem solving here, right? Because things get thrown at us all the time. You might not go through like huge grief, or you might not go through a gender transition, or you might not go through X thing, but there are opportunities to see how a person will navigate a thing, or how you as a couple or as a team will maneuver through different situations. And so I feel like that's one way that I would be able to tell that. And then this again might seem cheesy or corny, but a lot of what if questioning. I'm not typically a hypothetical person, but I've grown to understand how important it is to literally say, okay, if we were in this situation where we had to choose between X and X, what would you choose and why? You can learn a lot about people by asking questions like that in an intentional space. You can make it fun, make it a game. But that allows, I feel like, the ability or the understanding to know a little bit more about their problem solving or how they would approach difficulty, let's say.
Yeah. I like what you're talking about. In a little bit, I'm a pivot because I think what you're getting at is like how you understand that they're the right person for you or not. And then I think in a little bit, I want to go to how you know you're the right person for them or not, or that you're even ready to make that kind of commitment, because that internal exploration is important. But let's stay on like the other person for a minute. You see where I'm going with that? Okay, we're gonna get there in a second. But what comes up for me as you're saying that is true. Like, this can be a fun process. The process of exploration can be fun. So I like that you said there are like cool ways you can navigate this, fun, creative. Get creative about how you explore the depths of their being, and really take your time to do that. Even if you're going at lightning speed, make it deep. Yes. Sometimes I think we answered the question just a couple episodes back around the honeymoon phase. How do you know you're going too fast? Even if you're moving at lightning speed, make it deep. Don't make it shallow.
Yeah.
If it's going to be shallow, take your time. If it's going to be fast, make it deep. That way you really get to know a person. Now, I like this idea of going through the seasons. My mom did say that. Medea has also said that.
Medea, oh my God.
Hattie Mae might have also said
she
this.
might have said that.
Geraldine might have also said that. Like, we can, I think this is just like a wise Black woman probably said, see that relationship through all the seasons. And I think that that's powerful. If I were to expand on that as a therapist, I want you to see them through the season of emotions or the seasons of life. So I want you to see them through life and death. I want you to see them through happiness and mourning. Yeah. If you can say that you've seen a broad spectrum of their emotions, then you really know that person. So a lot of times it can feel good to be with somebody when things are good. Be with them through losing their job and see how they act and see if you want to be with them. Be with them through disappointments and see if them in their grief is what you really like. And you have the capacity to show up for it. Be with them when they're in their joy. Is it popping how you want it to be popping? If Tiffany during her birthday month was any indication of what she's like when she is turned up, I love it and I'm here for it.
Period.
If this what you like when you I can do this. Cause low might not be that low, you know?
Yeah.
Then also be with that person though when they're sad, when they're, when they felt lost, because that can give you an indication of what their lows are like. You want some indication of what somebody's low is like before you experience a low with them full time. And you can even ask them, what is it like with you at your worst? And have them be self-reflective. If you can tell they're not really being honest, then you might want to challenge them to be honest. But then that's also information. If they're not really the type to go there and be self-aware, they might lack self-awareness when it comes to like really challenging moments in their lives. And the challenge for you in relationship with them would become to help them to be self-aware or really decide if you want to be with them. But most people will be honest. What I like at my most challenging? Well, for me, I think at my most challenging and my most difficult, I'm really focused on finding a solution. I am annoying about finding a solution. I will lose sleep about finding a solution. Literally. So if you're not willing to dream up new possibilities with me, don't be with me. But Tiffany loves imagining possibilities and worlds. And so we work together like that. Tiffany, what are you like at your most difficult, most challenging, your lowest?
I am very I think similarly, I'm very focused on solutions.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's to a detriment. Sometimes I'm so focused on helping, being there, finding a solution that I lose the vulnerability. I lose the emotionality. I care so deeply for people, about people that I'm in relationship with, and I want to make it better. I want to find a solution. And so it can just be difficult to connect to the feeling or the vulnerability of it all when I'm so focused on the solution. So I feel like at my most difficult,
which is why we relate, right? Because we're like, let's dream it up together.
But I don't ever want to lose sight of the present every day. What's going on? What are you feeling?
Yeah. That's so true. That's so true. I think, hearing, if you're listening, to just really checking in with, if you're listening and you're deciding whether or not you want to take a next step in the relationship, really keep assessing, like, have I seen the range of the experience, the human experience with this person? And really go through a feelings chart if you're lacking like emotions to name. So you want to see them happy. You want to see them enjoy. Joy and happy are not the same thing. You want to know what the nuances are there with them, with joy and happiness. What they're like when they're sad, what they're like when they're angry. Don't skip over anger. I know it's uncomfortable, but you want to see that. Don't go goading them into anger now either. But you really want to have an idea of that. Ask their friends, ask them, what do you like when you're angry? And what kinds of things make you really angry?
That brings me, I was going to ask you from a therapist perspective, how do you know when you're bordering on the line of testing someone in this space or goading them, like you're saying? Because say you really want to know how they experience sadness.
Yeah.
How do you do that in an organic way? Do you just allow for the opportunity that comes, or do you do something to make them sad? And is that ethical?
It's not ethical to go make somebody sad because you want to see that they're sad. That's why I say ask them how they are when they're sad. Ask their friends, ask their parents, ask anybody in their life you have access to as you're getting to know them. They'll be happy to answer questions. Like if you get the chance to meet their siblings, say, how is my bae when they're sad? I'm still getting to know them. I think getting those other people's insights will be important. And then getting your partner's insight, asking them to be very transparent because it really helps you to know them even better so that you can know how to navigate that when it comes up. And if you said like that, like, I just really want to know how to support you when this comes up. Most people will be very transparent and honest because they want the support. So no, it's not ethical to go, people. Definitely do not go testing someone to see them through the seasons. Just let that happen. And if there's a season you haven't seen, know that it's going to come, but also ask about what that looks like and then assess whether or not you can manage that. But the seasons are going to come. Some of the seasons are withheld from you prior to you making a deep commitment because it's not time for that yet. A lot of times we need to build the cushion in our relationship first. But I love that question. Let's talk about what things need to be aligned within us before we make those kinds of deeper commitments. If you were asking yourself, why did I get married? What were you clear about inside of yourself? About yourself before you decided to get married to me. Now, for anybody who's not new to us listening, you already know that I asked Tiffany to marry me, and she took a couple years to decide she wanted to get married. She's like, I sure did. She needed to be ready. And I respected that. I was like, okay, be sure. You had to intentionally choose. And it wasn't about me. It was about other things around, like wanting to know that was the right time in her immediate family, that we would have as much love and support as we wanted and needed for our relationship. So it was other factors. It wasn't really about me. And so I really respected that. But she knew herself and she knew that she couldn't give all of what she needed to give to our relationship if she was still worried about that. And so I honor that in you. So what would you say that you needed to see and be aware of?
Wow. So I was first gonna answer this question with saying you have to be clear about what you want and desire. What you value. Like, what is important to me as a person outside of relationship, outside of a marriage, outside of any of these things? What's important to me? To me, family is very important. Home and family serve such a huge purpose and role in my life. And I feel like, when I made the decision to say, let's pause here, one, it was navigating things with my family of origin. And two, recognizing that we were about to consciously make the decision to create our own family. And that was important to me. And I wanted to engage in that process from an intentional, grounded, and healthy place. And so it meant that much to me that I was like, I need to pump the brakes. I think additionally, what I had to be clear about, or what, I valued a lot and continue to do so, is my independence.
You love that. You love that. You do love that.
I mean, at the point where you asked me, I was in grad school. I hadn't finished. I didn't know what I was going to be doing next. And so really allowing, and I'm so grateful that, we were able to come to a place where we had a mutual understanding of that space and time to figure out what was happening next. Not to say I don't need you, but to feel as if I was making a decision for Tiffany in a selfish way, not to the extent that I didn't consider you, but that I always remain priority. Because if I didn't prioritize me and what I needed, there's no way I could be who I am, who I want to be in a relationship.
Yeah.
And so independence, home and family was very important to me. And then something also that I value is genuine, like, fun and authenticity, and like all of the ways that just feel light and good.
Yeah.
And so being able to have the seriousness of commitment coupled with fun and authenticity, coupled with independence and creation of home and family, I'm sold.
Oh, beautiful.
For me, those are my values when it comes to that, in the stage of, deciding to get married or move to another step in the relationship. Different transitions cause for different things. And so I feel like your values may evolve as different transitions take place in your life. But I knew for that point in my life where we were deciding whether we were going to get married and start a family, those were the values that were important to me.
Absolutely. Yeah, I think that that's beautiful. For me, what felt like important? I feel like that independence thing just keeps sticking with me, because I know for me personally, independence is very important. And not like I need to just not be with you, independence, but just to know that you would be okay with me being me. And I think I already knew that because of how you accepted me through a gender transition, that we were already queer. I already knew that we had the makings of that, but I think I wanted to make sure that you felt like I was still my autonomous person. I didn't really agree with a lot of things in monogamy, or a lot of like tropes in monogamy where you're supposed to have ownership over the other person's body, meaning like, you're mine, you're not supposed to be with anybody else. And it wasn't that I just wanted to be with other people. It was that I wanted to know that you understood that I have the rights over my own body. I am my own person. You are not going to tell me who I need to be, how I need to act, think, feel in order to show up. So I think my things in relationships, or my hangups in relationships prior to you, had been about feeling like other people wanted too much of me. Now, I bring all of that back to say that I want somebody who would love me no matter if they had to share me. Don't split me in half. Don't try to fragment me. Don't try to break me into what you want me to be. And so I think for me, that boundary was that. For other people, it might not be that. But for anybody struggling with commitment, I believe that we probably have this in common. Anybody struggling to commit or feeling like you would be smothered in some way, that's probably what you're feeling. Like you would have to show up and be something that you don't want to be. So make that your boundary.
And to also, I just challenge also people to the idea that being in a relationship isn't inherently tied to not having independence. You can be in a thriving, healthy relationship in marriage and be the most independent person. And as Mo was saying earlier, independence is not like, I don't need you, I can do all this stuff by myself. I mean, you probably can. Do you want to? That's a different story. But to me, independence is being able to have a life of your own and with your partner in relationship simultaneously. And I feel like for a lot of people, it is the feeling that if you engage in a relationship or you get married or you move in together, that you just, my independence is gone. That is not how it has to be. And I don't wish that on anybody. Personally, that would not work for me. And so if you're toying with the idea of taking that next step because you don't want to lose that independence, is really thinking about and getting clear, on if you feel like your independence will completely be gone as a result of being in this relationship, that's a serious conversation you have to have internally and with the person that you're thinking about.
Yeah, you get to create.
Yes.
You all get to be your own love goals. So you get to decide how that relationship is going to be set up. So set it up in a way that serves you.
Yeah.
As well as your partner. Don't set it up in a way where they get their needs met, they get the boundaries that feel good for them, but then you are smothered or you feel like you're not being respected.
Exactly.
And so what you're saying is really accurate. I love that. Anything else you want to share with everybody before we go to?
Yeah. I mean, I feel like so much of the work of deciding on whether to take the next step is personal to you.
Yeah.
So it's really getting clear about what you want. Never, ever, ever, ever forego the things that you value most, because this, this sacrifice you make here to engage in this relationship, it can just intensify over time. And a part of being authentic to who you are and what you desire is being clear about it from day one, from every transition. And it might evolve, but continuing that communication. And to also realize, we talk about this all the time, be your own love goals. Your mama's values, your best friend's values, your brother's values, they could all be different, and that could work for them. But it might not work for you, and it's okay.
That for the people in the bag?
Your mama's values, your daddy's values, your brother's values, whoever's values they are, it works for them. But what works for you could be completely different, and that is okay. In fact, I encourage it. It probably should be different. We're all different people, and so it's okay that it exists, because we get to be and create our own love goals. And I love that for all of us.
I love that for us. Okay. This has been Be Your Own #Love Goals with Moe Ari
and Tiffany.
Have a great day and be well.
Bye. If you're listening to this on Apple Podcasts, don't forget to rate, review, and subscribe. Video episodes are on YouTube and Spotify.
If you want your question included in an upcoming episode, feel free to reach out to us on Instagram at Be Your Own Love Goals, or check out our website at lovegoalspodcast.com. We look forward to hearing from you soon.